New 1300 RT now comes with the option of the Vario luggage on it. So whereas before the RT always had quite wide panniers on it, you can now slim them down for everyday use. Joy of it is if you do open them up, with them being the Vario, unlike old Vario, it was either all or nothing. You can actually now wind them out to a size that you need and lock them off at each stage. Even to the point, if we wind it all the way out, you end up now with your traditional larger RT pannier. The bikes themselves you can have then obviously with the top box. The top box is a lot bigger. Like all the luggage, it's integrated into the central locking as well. So it's not a question of having to come around with your key and individually lock things. And you can actually set this as well within the systems of the bike that when you turn the ignition off, your bike locks down. You go into the top box, you just open it up. One of the cool things I like about the top box now is when you're not using it, I suppose instead of it kicking about in your garage, you actually now get a wall plate for it as well. You basically sort of bolt this to your wall and your top box will lock onto this same as it does the bike, and it's secure, it's not going to fall off, and it's out of the way and it's safe. With regards to the RT, I mean, I'm a big fan of RTs, whether it be the 12s, the 1250s, and the 1300 is very much a game changer for me. It's a bike now that instead of being a bike of choice for touring, it's the only real option. You can have it in the manual or in the ASA that you've just been out on. The ASA I think is absolutely dreamy. Although they're a lot more slimmed down on the front, which does help I suppose in the fact that it doesn't have, like it doesn't carry a lot of front nose weight now, so it makes it a lot easier on low speed, and yet it still gives you all the weather protection that the old one did. Yeah. I suppose it's very clever aerodynamics and engineering and wind tunnels. In my simplistic mind, it's witchcraft. Yeah, well, the telelever suspension, I don't know if anyone... well, the new 1300s now have it, they call it telelever advanced. Right. So it's actually an advanced and more, if you like, more technically progressed telelever suspension. Mm. As with all the new BMWs, they have all the connected ride features. I really like with the RT, because of the bigger TFT on it, does mean that if you download the My Motorrad app, get all your maps and everything in, instead of just getting turn by turn, you can actually see the maps. So there's no need to buy an additional... No, like so long as... The XR, you've got to buy a unit. Yeah, so with your XR, for example, you would buy the unit if you need to see the maps, because it only gives you turn by turn. With the RT, you can have either the full screen as your map, or you can actually split it 50-50, so you've got bike information one side and the maps on the other side. Absolutely phenomenal. This one obviously is the triple black. Doesn't have one of the features which was one of the big sort of marketing points I suppose from BMW, which was the advanced aero package on it. The one you've been out on does, so it does have the movable panels. And again, so this is the demo bike. As I said, I was fortunate enough to get it essentially a week before they were launched, and I've ridden it in days like today, but also in weather that probably most normal people wouldn't choose to be out on a bike.
Are you like me? With all weathers, I like getting out in when it's raining.
It makes no difference. I commute every day, all year on a bike, and my logic is if it's raining, then I'll put a boil in the bag rain suit on.
Boil in the bag.
But they are. They keep all the muck off me. But it's
they're horrible, aren't they? But I know.
But it's my boil in the bag rain suit. It goes over the top of everything. So this one, again, very clever aerodynamics, because although it's a lot slimmed down, even in the worst of weather, you don't get any wetter than you would on an old RT. However, this one does have the fancy lift-up aero package on it.
Yeah, I like that.
And what it essentially does is when you're in the riding position on the bike, no matter how good a bike is, the old RT was the same, you would end up in the worst of weather where you would get like the wind sort of flapping the side of your trousers. Yeah. It actually channels all that around you. If you think about the height of it coming across the bike,
the wind's going to go
it literally just takes it all the way around. Yeah. From my other half's point of view, who's my guinea pig for the back of every bike, she adores it. Actually says it takes quite a bit of it off her as well. Not that she really gets the deal being behind me, but with her legs essentially being outside of me, again, it takes the weather off of her.
Yeah. That's a really cool feature. I really like that.
Took me a while to figure it out. Yeah. First time I rode it, I must have looked a right wally riding down the road with one up and one down.
Do you know what? I'm jealous of the electric screen, because on my bike over there, you've got to manually do it.
The joy of the electric screen is obviously you can have it as high or as low as you want. So I always keep my, essentially the quick key on the RTs for my screen, rather than heating or anything else, purely because I tend to find if I'm in the twisties or something, I want to be looking just over the top of it. Whereas when you're out in the foul weather, and again, testimony, I can vouch for it, even when it's raining, if you put it all the way up, you can still ride with your visor cracked and you're not getting the weather in your face. It's an absolute godsend in bad weather. But then there's other cool things on the moment. It's like, I love the advanced headlight, the Headlight Pro. So you won't have experienced it today because it's daytime. But with the Headlight Pro, it actually changes where it projects the beam on the road. So at slower speeds, it pulls the beam towards you. And then as you go faster, it pushes that beam further away. And again, not being a child, but summertime I had to wait until it was night to go out and try it, but I did go out and try that as well. You see, the blue's my colour of choice, but then this is where the joy of colours, if we all like the same thing, we'd all be riding around on the same colour bikes. The RT always, like I say, fell in a segment of, it was a bike of choice for big tours. The argument was always be you could have the gold ring, something like that, which would be more comfortable or whatever. The thing is, there is nothing in my opinion that is as comfortable, and then when you get to where you want to go and you want to enjoy your bike, nothing is going to perform as well as this thing does, in my opinion. I mean, well, the 1300 shift cam engines now, obviously 145 brake, but with the clever shift cams, it does mean as you start to get into the rev ranges, it sort of starts to become a slightly different bike, and it gives you a different feel. As I say, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the RT anyway, so it was always going to be a big bone of contention for me was this bike, because if they'd have got it wrong, I'd have probably been the first to complain.
Biggest critic.
Really, as horrible as it sounds, I probably am. I've done thousands of miles on them. But for me, they've got it bang on the money, and
it's too big as well. It's not over. You can feel the weight, but it's low down. So it's really balanced. It feels lightweight when you're on it. It's hard to describe it if you're not a biker. You look at these, and some people say, "God, how do you ride that? It's massive. It's really, you know, like, man, how do you ride it? It's huge." But once you're on them and moving,
they lose all the weight. I mean, the joy of it is, I mean, I will use my wife's terminology. I'm vertically challenged, and I have the inside leg of a 3-year-old. And yet the RT, even fully loaded, and with my other half on the back, I'm still comfortably with my feet. And it's not one of those bikes that when you get weight on it, you start to teeter-totter and you're worried. You're just there. It almost holds itself. The stability of it is ridiculous, whether that's at low speed or high speeds.
So there we go. That's Ryan from Marshalls BMW.
From a sins.
Come and see Ryan or Steve at Marshalls, and they'll sort you out if you're in the market for one of these. Because I'm just saying to everybody, if I was in the market for a bike, I think I'd be interested in one of them. All right. Thank you very much, Ryan.
No bother.